Welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio, the bicycle industry podcast that brings retailers, vendors, advocates, and thought leaders to the mic for honest discussions about the latest issues facing retailers while taking an in-depth look at the person within the profession.
Hello, welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio. This is Heather Mason, MBDA President. My guest today is Lauren Webb, Agency Director at WorkStan. She is totally awesome. Today, we are talking about e-com strategies, online marketplaces. We go into pro tips on how you first make a plan. We want to talk about engaging your community and staff. We dive into direct mail a little bit, Google ad listings, and how important it is to treat your website as a store location. I love the conversation. There's lots of great little nuggets in here. This is one for retailers and suppliers alike. Let's get started. All right, Lauren, thanks for joining. Welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited about this. The topic is really important. It's one that retailers, I'd say, are trying to figure out. You know, it's important, e-com, online, being found local, connecting with community, and making sure all your product is easily accessible. So we got a lot to dive into, don't we?
I know we do. I'm excited.
Let's start with just Lauren, all about Lauren, if that's okay. So you are the agency director at WorkStan. And do you love what you do? What have you done in the past? Do you ride bikes? Let's just talk a little bit about you.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So I do all of those things. I love to ride. I've got two little kids, so we're currently in the process of teaching them how to ride too, which has been really fun. But yeah, at WorkStan, I lead a team of almost 20 marketing professionals, and we work exclusively with independent bike shops, and we help with every type of marketing that they need. So making sure their website looks great, Google Ads, email marketing. We've recently been doing more rebrands and logo designs, which has been really fun. So we're just a good resource for anything that they might need for marketing.
I love that. And the work that WorkStan is doing is so important because having, I'd say, like a solution dedicated to bicycle industry, to bicycle retailers really makes it easy. Getting all of those items populated on a website, just figuring out how to do that is a chore in itself. So thank you. E-com and digital marketing, what is your experience? What attracted you to that? I mean, that's a highly skilled field. So just a little bit more there, if you would.
Sure, yeah. So I feel very lucky. I started working with Ryan Atkinson over a decade ago at his company, Harvest Retail Marketing in Omaha, Nebraska. And I just graduated from undergrad and I was in grad school at the time studying just marketing and advertising kind of at a higher level. And so I've always been interested in that. And then I've also always known that I wanted to work with small businesses because my grandparents owned a hardware store in a small town. And when I was growing up, I just spent a lot of time there. And they were just like so hardworking. And I just really enjoyed like being around the shop. And as I've grown older, I want to spend my time doing what I can to help other small businesses be successful. And I think I just love the passion and mission that bike retailers have, and it's been fun. I've been doing it for a long time, but there's just always a new challenge, always something new to learn, and especially with e-commerce, it just keeps it interesting.
Yeah, I remember back when I owned a shop, dating myself here. I started in the industry in like 2000, and where we are now, even just in the last 3 or 4 years, like the COVID boom, and I mean, it's dramatically different and changing. Lauren, that I work with retailers in these small groups. We're having conversations. Should we focus on e-com? Should we not? How much focus? Where do I start? Um, and every retailer, and I'm sure you see this with the retailers you work with, has a different strategy, has a different approach. And some people are and want to focus on it and want to grow, and others are like, not even for me, right? I mean, are you feeling like you're hearing just a diverse response?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, everybody has a different idea of what they want to do, and that's okay. That's like one of the things that I love about my job is that there's always a different perspective, so it keeps it fun.
Does keep it fun. So we're talking about Workstand because we know about Workstand. I've been working with Ryan for a long time as well. The NBDA is very appreciative of our partnership with Workstand. Many of our listeners might not know about Workstand. Listeners, it's workstand.com. If you've been familiar with Smart Etailing in the past, Smart Etailing did a rebrand, and they are now workstand.com. They've also expanded their services. There's a lot going on. Maybe Lauren, could you just give us an overview of Workstand and maybe, yeah, let's start with there, just an overview of Workstand if you would.
Yeah, sure, of course. So yeah, Workstand is a technology and marketing company, and we serve independent bicycle dealers in the US and Canada. And our mission is to just make it super easy for them to have a professional e-commerce website so that they can grow their business. And then my team specifically helps set the retailers up for success by maintaining their website, creating like SEO rich content and landing pages, attracting new customers. And I think one of the biggest benefits is that since we work with so many shops, we're able to share our knowledge and experience so that everybody can kind of level up together.
Yeah, that's a quick hit overview, and I appreciate that because we have a lot to get into. But listeners, you really do need to head to the website workstand.com because there's so much from custom websites. They have website templates, your relationships with all the brands, suppliers, instant catalog upload, the SEO. And Lauren, you mentioned rebranding too. Had no idea.
Yep, yeah, we've got a full design team on staff that can help with anything like that. So yeah.
Fun. So let's get into e-com and digital marketing. As I mentioned, lots of retailers seem to be just all over the board on this one. But I really want to, I guess, start kind of picking your brain about like for those retailers who don't yet have a strategy or maybe have a website going, but they're not optimizing it. Like it's just existing out there. Um, if you were gonna like restart, if you were a retailer yourself, Lauren, and you were gonna restart, like where would you start? Does it start with a strategy? Like just kind of walk us through like what considerations you might have.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is one of the things we do a lot when we're working with new merchants. And the way we start is just by kind of stepping back and identifying what their business priorities are and looking at their goals and their revenue targets and then what they've been selling and what categories are performing well or not performing well. Because everybody wants to increase foot traffic and sales, but it helps to get more specific for us to focus on like actionable next steps. So we usually start by picking a couple categories to focus on. So that could be service or a bike category like electric bikes. And then we identify ways that we can share more information and add value for the customers in a way that will be specifically targeted to their goals.
So instead of just being like, boom, website on, I'm in the ecom game. All of my products listed online. I've got my service menu. I've got a fit menu. You can book appointments with me. That might be overwhelming, you're saying. So maybe pick a couple areas where you want to start and focus on that.
Yeah, exactly.
So when a retailer is looking at being online and making sure that they can not only present their business online but sell products online, there has to be a plan as far as timeline, letting your staff know, maybe even an allocation of a marketing budget. So do you have any thoughts on this for retailers who are listening?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot. So let's start with the basics. So let's see. Number one is if you have an e-commerce website, it's important to make sure all of your inventory is on your site with accurate prices. That can be a challenge for some, especially if you have a sale or promotion going on in store. I see a lot shops don't have that reflected on their site. So that's kind of step one. Make sure everything is accurate and up to date. And then make it easy for customers to shop with you by accepting credit cards or PayPal or financing. Um, Another thing that we kind of consider a basic is just making sure that all of your policies are friendly to your customers, and competitive. So maybe that means offering free shipping over $100 or whatever amount is comfortable and makes sense for your business. So we start there, make sure all of the settings are set up for success. And then when that is in a good place, then you can be proactive about driving traffic to your website. Because, like you said earlier, you can't just turn it on and expect people to find it. You need to be proactive, let them know it's there, kind of get in front of your customers and tell them they can now shop online with you and encourage them to do so. So, one of the ways that we encourage people to do that is by letting their customers know when they're actually in the shop. So, if they're in there, they're checking out, you can remind them that they can shop with you online 24/7. If they forgot something, they can shop for shipping or just in store pickup at their convenience. You can do that with countertop signs or follow up with them after their purchase through email or Google Ads or posting on social media. Just like any way that you can get your website in front of them, it helps make it easy for them to just click through and start browsing.
It really is. Like an online website is really another extension of your store and who you are as a retailer. So it's really, I think, important to have to bring your brand across into the website as well. And just like we inform our staff, like this is what's expected when someone comes through the door, we also want to make sure that our staff knows about our website, what products are on it. Do you talk to retailers about that to make sure that they've got their staff like fully informed too?
Definitely, especially when we have, like, big promotions or product launches going on, like, I always recommend that everybody at the shop is subscribed to the email address so that they can see the same messages that customers are getting, and then anything else you're doing for marketing, so if you're sending a direct mail, make sure you have a couple copies at the store so your team knows what to expect when customers come in with them. Make sure they know how to ring up the coupons and so that everything is attributed in the right way. Um, we sometimes for shops that have like lots of locations, we used to create little documents that they could share, like one pagers with their managers with all the important information, just to make it easy and so that everyone's getting the same consistent message.
So just to rewind, because there's so much here, and I know we're trying to like boil this down into a shorter podcast, if you would. So for someone who's in the e-com space now, they have a website, and maybe it's just there, it's existing, it's not doing much for them other than giving them like a placeholder for their brand, their store online. Maybe others listening have a website that's doing really well, and then maybe some just have a Facebook page, don't even have a website. I hate to say it that way, but we know that some people are doing that. Where we want to start at any stage, if you don't have a page, if you do have a page that's doing kind of not much, or if you have a page that's active, it's always a good time to look at your page and evaluate how is this doing and where do I want this to go, and to make a plan. So just like we would a marketing calendar, we actually kind of want a plan for our e-com site. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, and they go together. So anything that you're doing with your marketing plan should be aligned on your website. And so we used to do these big annual marketing plans, and over the last couple of years, that's been really hard to manage. Things have just been changing so quickly. And so now what we do is when we partner with merchants to make a plan for their website or their marketing, we do it by quarter. It's far enough in advance that you can like be prepared and have a plan, but you can still be flexible and just align for whatever is most important in the coming quarter. So we look at the holidays that are coming up. We look at events in the community, product launches, anything like that. And then we also take a look at what's happening in the store with like aging inventory and just seeing if there's any discounts or price adjustments that we need to make. And then I think most importantly, just doing what we can to be realistic so that everybody can stick to the plan, come up with a solid routine. And so that might mean, we're getting the website up to date, we're taking care of it on a regular basis. And then after that, we're driving traffic to the site through maybe it's 2 emails per month or posting on social media 4 days a week or whatever it is that's realistic for your business that you can keep up with. Um, that's going to be good for you long term so that you can stay up to date and make sure everybody knows what to expect.
Yeah, so that in my brain is making total sense because we don't really want to bring people to our website if it's not changing, if it's not fresh, if there's not great content there. So first getting that strategy in place, and like you're saying, maybe it's quarterly where you're looking at like what that homepage is going to say, what you're focused on, if there's any discounts that align with your vendors. So you have that plan in place, and then once you're good and your team knows, your staff knows, now you can really share that and get your, get the word out, ask people to come visit you in the community, right?
Yep, exactly.
So then, all right, so then here we are. So we've got a plan now and we've got a nice website. This is the topic that everyone, SEO or getting traffic to our website. How are we doing this? What's the most effective way? That's like the golden ticket, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot that you can do, but the biggest thing, or the thing that we've seen have the best results over the past year or two, has been Google Shopping ads, and specifically Google product local listing inventory ads, because they are super targeted to the inventory that you have in stock, and you can target your community or specific neighborhoods in your area, and they get your actual products in front of local customers right when they're shopping. So that's been the most effective tool. If somebody comes to me and says they want to grow their e-commerce, that's always what I start with. Um, and yeah, we've seen great results.
So for our listeners who might not understand how to even do that, because if you told me to do that, I'd be like, okay, I don't know where I even start. So does Workstand have a service? Can anyone just do this? Like just a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So the Workstand platform is self-service. So you can do anything on your own if you want to, but we also have my team that you can delegate to if you just want it off your plate. We'll take care of it for you. And so how it works is we connect your Google Merchant Center to your Workstand product feed, which is also directly connected to your point of sale. So that's how it pulls your in-stock inventory. And then the Workstand listings have all of the shoppable product pages. So the nice photos, descriptions, prices, everything like that, that will feed to Google and show up really nicely for your customers when they're searching.
And so then if you boost this, it'll like show up like ahead of other people in your local community. And you just have to target that to the demographic or the ad spend that you want, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you can upload the feed to Google Shopping without paying for it. So
Oh.
anybody can do that for free. But like you said, you can boost it to get a higher ranking in the search results, show up first, things like that.
So outside of that, other ways to engage community, I think about group rides, events, but anything in the e-com context that you would suggest.
Yeah. So definitely, I think posting on social media and responding to other people's posts and comments is a good place to start. Kind of along that line, asking for online reviews and responding to all of those too, positive or negative, just so people know that you're engaged, you're listening, you hear what's going on, and are making adjustments if needed. But just having that presence online is important. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, group rides too. It's a great way to get people in the store and kind of gain your loyalty with your shop. But the website plays a role in that too, because that's where people are looking for that information. So making sure that all of that content is on your site, up to date, and just trying to make it like approachable for people to seek you out and then show up for a ride.
I always wonder, Lauren, like what is what really pulls people in? Is it the discount or is it like I see Ride with GPS making it really easy for retailers to highlight local rides? Like, do you have any thoughts on like what is the most engaging? I don't know if you track that data, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, so I think people have been highly motivated by sales over the last couple of years. It seems to kind of be the expectation now, which I think some bike shop owners are a little over the sales. They're ready to try something new. And so, yeah, we think of other ways that we can be competitive or kind of stand out in the market. So maybe that's being competitive with shipping or offering extra services like free local home delivery, or doing what you can to increase add-on sales. But I think I'm going a little bit off track now. But yeah, there's all sorts of different tactics that we can take to convert.
Yeah, I just wonder, like when I visit some retailers' websites, I see things that are like images of their staff or images of local rides, and that captures me. But then I'm sure other
Mhm.
shoppers might want to see the best brand bikes at the best price or whatever. So it's probably a little bit different for everyone. But but highlighting probably the culture of the store and the guarantees, maybe like why do business with us is probably a message that would really help distinguish and resonate.
Yeah.
So thinking about bringing more people in the door, community engagement, using our website as an effective place where we can, welcome people back to do business with us at any time of the day from wherever they are. Any other strategies that you can think of to bring more people in our community to our webpage outside of Google Ads? Is there anything else? Maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking about cross promotional partnerships, or I don't know, I'm just trying to think outside the box here.
Yeah. One thing that I love that has been sort of a fun way to kind of a traditional marketing tactic, but maybe non-traditional in the sense of driving traffic to the website is direct mail.
Oh,
Because we know that it helps distinguish you from your local competitors. And it's also like there's guaranteed engagement there. Like anybody that you send it to is going to, grab it out of their mailbox, look at it, flip it over, probably put it on their counter for a couple days, and then bring it into their store or into your store. But the other thing that we've been doing recently is putting a QR code on the mailer so that it's super easy for people just to start shopping on their phone. And that's been really effective at driving traffic to the site. So yeah, direct mail works and it's a proven kind of tactic because you can track it through either website visits or coupon redemption. And that's been a fun way. We partner with the bike co-op that has just incredible prices and they make the process super easy. So that's an idea for you.
oh, I love that. I do love that. And you brought up the simplicity of a QR code. And I think there's something really important there, and that's removing barriers to do business with you. So having that QR code, I don't have to like look for your website address, try to figure out how to spell it, go, I can just click it right there on my phone and it pops up.
Mhm.
But it makes me think we have a retailer in our P2 group who just started working with Workstand. And he was, going through the process, and he mentioned something that I think fits here really well, and that you want to look at your website as a customer would, I believe. Lauren, I mean, you're the expert, so correct me if I'm wrong, but go to all the links, make sure all the links work, make sure, put something in your basket, check it out, right? And go through the process, right? And that, it just always surprises me how many retailers don't notice that their links aren't working, or they're kind of putting up a barrier that they don't intend to put up, right? I'm sure you see
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I do. If we have a new shop that's working with us, I'll review everything in their online presence. So I'll Google them and see what shows up. I'll look at their social media activity, and then yeah, I'll do exactly what you just said. Like pretend like I'm a customer looking at their site, adding something to the cart, because there's something. Maybe you put up a message 3 years ago when you had to adjust during COVID, and we put up a lot of messages to try to communicate to our customers, but maybe those are still up and they don't need to be and they're causing confusion or something like that. So yeah, we have a close eye on all of the messages that are on the site, and then also like are the expectations for shipping or pickup clear, and do they make sense to a customer? So yeah, I love that they're doing that. We do that too.
I love that. All right, so we talked a little bit about promotions, but I think we have to dive into this a little bit more. I know a lot of retailers are sitting on maybe too much inventory, maybe inventory that's had a birthday, and they are looking to really promote certain inventory, or even promote their sale or close out items. Do you have any pro tips here on how to help retailers do that? I mean, I feel like if I put on, I don't know, my bike, the bikes I have in stock at a certain price, well, every other retailer in the world maybe is doing the same thing. How am I going to make mine stand out? Or I don't know, how am I going to make the inventory I want to move that's old stand out versus the other pumps I have that are newer? So just any pro tips you could offer.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do. One of the things that we encourage people to do on their website or their homepage is like merchandise products just like they would in the store. So the homepage is kind of the front door, the entry, that's what people see first. So bring those items that you need to move to the front and make it easy for customers to find them. So maybe it's a homepage graphic about a sale you have going on this weekend, or maybe it's just a catalog section of all of your in-stock bikes that are on sale. Or one thing that we do that we've also had success with is for certain categories, you can send targeted like post-purchase emails. So maybe you need to sell car racks. Send an email to everybody that's bought a bike in the last 6 months, reminding them that you've got these great deals on car racks or whatever it might be. You can get specific to the category. But I think just the key is making it easy for people to find those deals or those items instead of just like leaving them in the catalog where they might happen to see them, but they might also see, something else that's less hard to sell.
Yeah, no, I get that. So it's like, so what you're saying is if we have a section in the store, maybe that's set up as like our clearance section on our website, we would do that too. So it's really easy for people to shop.
Mhm.
What we're trying to do though is still get back some of that margin, right? So if someone's selling a bike that's discounted, we're trying to tell retailers, hey, now sell them a bunch of accessories that are full margin. So you're able to capture back some of that margin. So it's a healthier sale. So I'm imagining there's things we could do maybe in the checkout process to suggest items that are full margin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about margin a lot, and it's been definitely tricky over the last couple of years with so many sales. But yeah, there are things that you can do, obviously in store and then online too. So we can add messages to the checkout or to the shopping cart that says, did you get all of the essentials you need, and then link to a landing page with the popular categories. Or another way to do it is the automated emails that I mentioned. So we have a series of campaigns that we send to specific categories. So maybe it's to everybody that bought a mountain bike, we can follow up with target accessories for them and like specific messages about suspension maintenance or, annual tune-ups or even trade-ins kind of down the road. So yeah, there's super important to be able to sell those accessories after the bike purchase.
So some of this, as you're saying, can be automated, but then some retailers might want to invest in a staff member, or even with the automation, invest in a staff member to really monitor these sales and do this necessary follow-up. Are there certain retailers who are doing like a really, really stand-up job on this? And would you share any like things that they're doing so we can kind of follow their lead, I guess?
I would just say that the automations are so powerful because you can get very, very targeted and even like down to the item level. So, there's like all of these different systems that work together. And so maybe somebody buys a rack and you can get so targeted to just like say, here's all of the bags that fit with your rack or whatever it might be. There's so much you can do. So really just like, yeah, having a team member that's dedicated to like coming up with those ideas and building them out and then following up is great. And the nice thing about the automations is you just set it up once and then it's good to go. So it doesn't take a lot of like ongoing maintenance. It's just set it up, let it run, and then it sends out.
Yeah. It reminds me of a retailer in Texas who was like, he sent me an email. He's like, I didn't want to have an online marketplace. I didn't want to even have a website. I don't have time for that. I didn't want to monitor it. I didn't want to connect my point of sale and my inventory. And he has all these things that he didn't want to do, which is perfectly fine. I get it. But then I think it was a smart e-tailing website and he turned on like the automatic shipment. I know you work with some distributors who you can put products on your website and you don't have to actually have them in inventory. The customer can purchase
Mhm.
them. The distributor handles the shipping directly to like you actually don't as a retailer have to do anything, I think. And he was telling me how he's making, a pretty nice extra amount of revenue and he's doing nothing. Is that true, Lauren? Like that's super true.
Yeah, so we have supplier sync and supplier fulfillment where merchants can display inventory that's in stock at the supplier warehouses. And then, like you mentioned, not every supplier, but there's a few that we partner with that will actually handle the entire fulfillment for the merchant so that they ship the item directly to the customer's door and the merchant doesn't have to touch it.
And they just collect a revenue. I think that is
Mhm.
wow. Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. I think every retailer needs to get involved in that. That sounds like a win to me. Um, let's switch it up a little bit because we've been really high. So the question comes up sometimes, what's the value of the specialty bicycle retailer? What's the value of the independent retailer? We have brands such as XYZ, the big brands selling on their own websites. And so we're trying to promote and educate specialty bicycle retailers. There's a lot of value in what you do. You are a local retailer. You support your community. You educate and employ people, staff members. You provide knowledge, service to bicycles. You have a curated inventory. So we're asking them to promote what they do and their unique mission vision. But then we also have these brands who are doing amazing work. And so the retailers are trying to figure out how they promote the value of them and who they are as a small specialty bicycle retailer, but also incorporate the brand messaging into that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I want to know like how we mix that on our website so we can do both really well.
Yeah. Well, I love everything you said about the benefits of the local businesses, and we do that too. And we encourage them to like be the expert in their community. So provide value through, helpful information about whatever it is. It could be like local, places to ride, the best trails in the area, or something specific to their area, like, local e-bike regulations, or recently we've been seeing e-bike rebates pop up more recently. And so just having that content on your website so that you're the source they know they can go to and trust for all of that important information for their local market. But I love the work that the brands are doing too. And I think it's super valuable, especially with like big product launches and things like that, where they're investing, tons of resources in their videos and their marketing content. And then they're partnering with Workstand to create landing pages and website content that the merchants can use for no cost. So again, the merchant really doesn't have to put in much effort because the content's already there, created for them in a really professional way. And then, the other benefit of Workstand is having the pre-built catalog items that are already there. Everything is entered, everything's ready for them. So on the day of a product launch, it's all ready to go. And so I always encourage retailers to take advantage of all of that great marketing material that's all ready to go for them.
That is true. There's our brands are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, right? And it's there and it's ready for us to put on our
Mhm.
website, to put on our social feeds. Since I have you on this, we do have some suppliers, some brands, some sales reps who listen to the podcast. And I have heard from some retailers that not all the brands are, have their product synced up with Workstand. And it would be great. It would make it so much easier if everyone would. Is I don't know if you can dive into that, but is that an easy process? Can any brand just call you guys up and start the process? And I mean, we want all these new e-bike companies on and, it'd be
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, so do we, and so do the retailers. Just like you're saying, it really helps their business when the content is all ready to go and they can show the same inventory that they have in store on their website. So yeah, we are always reaching out to new brands to get their product data. We have a whole team of people that do that. So yes, I'd encourage you to reach out, get connected, and we can talk more about the specific process. But we're always trying to improve our catalog and get full coverage on the industry.
Makes me think also just another question here for probably our retailers who are already doing business with you or just something that might keep people up at night. New product coming down the pipeline, MSRPs always changing, it seems. So is Workstand automatically updating that? So if a retailer has a product shown on their website and there's a price adjustment or something, does your system like auto flag it and update it for the retailer without them having to really do anything? You know what I mean? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, sort of. So pricing comes in a few different ways, but the primary way that we show pricing on the website is based on whatever's entered into the point of sale. So the merchant needs to make sure their point of sale pricing is up to date, and then that will be reflected on their website. If it's something that we were talking about earlier that's showing up from supplier sync, in that case, the price comes from the supplier. So a couple different ways that it can work, but the most important thing that the merchant needs to focus on is making sure their point of sale is up to date. And from there, it should be good.
Awesome, awesome. And then I want to just dive in something you mentioned earlier in the conversation when we were talking about making a plan for your website and having a plan that you communicate to your staff and your team. It makes me think just about that our website it is another location. It is like another location for people to do business with us. Do some retailers have success getting a screen and showing their website in the store as well. It's probably especially if they're connected with the supplier fulfillment, right? Because you can't have every product in the store. Do you see some people doing that?
Yeah, we do, and, yeah, it could be on another screen, it could be on an iPad, but yes, I love that. It's a great way to show customers what else is available if you don't have it in stock. So maybe they want a different color, or they want, they like what you have in store, but you don't have it in their size. You can just, bring the iPad over, they can check out right there, or you can say, "I'll order this for you. Do you wanna pick it up, or do you want me to ship it to your house?" Like, it's super easy, either, yeah, for the customer to do on their own or for the merchant just to handle that transaction for them.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking all the content, like we go through a process of building out a really beautiful website and making sure that our content is there, like our meet the team, our why do business with us, maybe our group rides, maybe our event calendar, and having it nice and easily accessible on a screen in the store will allow people, like a sales team member could walk over and be like, here's our group ride schedule, instead of having it printed
Mhm.
out. I'm imagining that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to update too. So, we see shops that do that for their services, like their service menu, they'll have that on a digital screen, or yeah, group rights is a great example. It's easy to update and all, easy to have presented in that way. Trying to think if there's anything else we've done it for. But those are two kind of common examples that we've seen.
So the other thing that I want to ask about is click and collect. I feel like we went through this huge boom where we see Target and Walmart and all these places having dedicated places to park, and I mean, it's pretty cool, right? And so our industry, I feel like, got into it a little bit during COVID when people couldn't come into our stores. Um, but I feel like as a mom, I'm a mom too, right? And it's like if I'm looking for something for the kids and I can see it online, and I like to buy it right then because I don't want to get there and it's sold out or whatever. So
Mhm.
making it simple for me to do business with a shop is really important. So do you see the click? I guess my question is, do you see click and collect still being relevant? And would you suggest that retailers offer that on their website and really get behind that? Or do you think that that's kind of going away now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's as used as frequently as it was a couple years ago, but I still think it adds value, and it's really nice to have the flexibility of having that be an option. So yeah, we do encourage it, especially if shops don't offer shipping. We still want to make it clear that customers can shop on their site and either, have it delivered curbside or delivered to their home through like free local delivery, or yeah, they can just go pick it up at their convenience, and they know they have the peace of mind that they have it, they don't have to worry about it selling out, and it makes it super easy. So I would say keep doing it, keep bringing it up. A lot of customers still use it and really like it.
And then this one's a little bit harder. I'm gonna kind of, I might catch you off guard with this one. So, we're saying treat our website as like another store location. And so some some apps allow us to easily see when someone's on our website. Like we have these chat functions that we can pop up and we can engage with people while they're browsing our website, which I think is super cool, right? What do you think about those? Do you think that those are good? And yeah, I guess let's start there.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings because I don't wanna do anything that's going to, like, disrupt or, like, distract the customer if they're, on a mission to find something. But I think it's nice to have the little chat box that is available if a customer has a question or they just wanna talk to someone. So we try to limit the amount of, like, pop-ups and things that are distracting, but I think there are some nice widgets that are, like, tasteful and super helpful. So, yeah, we've seen those chat widgets pop up a lot more frequently on lots of sites, and it seems to be a helpful tool. I know merchants really like to be able to text with their customers, and it's just convenient for everybody to get quick communication in a way that is just easy and seamless for everybody.
Yeah, and sometimes I love them and sometimes I hate them, right? So it just depends, right? Um, the other thing is I think about the people who have visited our website and then maybe leave. Um, and the only way I could think of maybe figuring out how to get a hold of them or see, if they put something in a cart and didn't buy it, we could probably see like abandoned carts or something. anything that you would give for our retailers who are listening about maybe trying to capture those people who didn't purchase or I don't know, besides, I don't know, is abandoned cart the only way, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, abandoned cart emails are, we have a feature built into the Workstand platform that will automatically send emails to anybody that got to a certain point in checkout. We have some merchants that are experimenting with other third-party tools to get even more targeted with those abandoned cart emails, and they've had great success with that. That's been really popular with a few merchants recently. And then the other way is just through Google Ads. So you can remarket to people who have visited your site or gone to a certain page. And so that's a great tactic as well.
Excellent. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else. What about that homepage image? Like we always like that's the first thing our eyes see. And I know I tried to ask you like, what's the best thing? What really brings them in? But is there, let me ask you it the opposite way. Is there anything that you would say absolutely do not put as like your homepage image?
Let's see. Well, I would say just make sure it's up to date and make sure you're paying attention to it because, like, for example, I just started working with a merchant recently, and they still had, so it's April, end of April, they still had holiday content up. So, like, don't do that. Make sure it's up to date, make sure it's relevant. It's the first thing people see, and if your content is from 6 months ago, it doesn't reflect the best on, what you have going on. So, it's important to keep it fresh, keep it updated, change it regularly for whatever is most important at the time.
I love that. And then finally, the links to our socials, I think those are important. I like those when a retailer has them. Makes me think of like the Instagram shopping, or I don't even know if Facebook does shopping. Do you want to promote on your on your socials that you can purchase on your website? Like, is that something that you would recommend?
Definitely, yeah. A lot of customers are spending time on Instagram and Facebook and different platforms, and so there is a way to upload your product feed to Meta, which then you can tag your products directly from Instagram and things like that. I love it because it's just another way to make it easy for people to, if they're already on their phone, they're already browsing, they can just click through one click to your website. So, yeah, it's a little bit, you have to take some steps to set it up, but our team's always here to help you with that if needed. But yeah, it's a great tool.
This is like not my forte, and your team obviously is doing amazing stuff to help people with this, because I'm imagining this is probably challenging for some others as well. Um, I just thought of something as we were talking here. There's a retailer, I think I want to share this because I think this is pretty cool. We were talking about making certain categories of products stand out and easy for people to find. And I drink wine. I love to go into the wine store and see like the little product reviews, like staff member likes this wine because of whatever. So this bicycle retailer has a whole section that's staff member products that with their testimonials, which I thought was really cool. I'm sure you've seen that before.
Yeah, it's really cool because yeah, you can have that in store and have little tags or whatever it is like on your products, and then you can also carry that through to the website and have a landing page or a little icon on the catalog pages to show like this is the staff pick, this is the best mountain bike helmet, whatever it is, and then yeah, have the little review from the team member. And then you can use that in a lot of different ways. You can use that in social media posts, you can use that in your email marketing. There's lots of different ways you can kind of tie it together.
I love that. So I guess finally I would just ask, like, the question that comes up often is how much should I spend on the Google ads, and what percentage of my sales? I think we suggest to retailers 4% of your should go towards marketing, but this is like a question mark. Some retailers are spending 3, 4, 5,000 a month on Google ads, and the ROI is, I don't know, any tips here? I know it's hard to give a number because all size retailers are different, but any tips that you would offer?
Yeah, so we have a similar recommendation for just overall marketing budget. We recommend 2 to 4% of your planned revenue should go to your marketing budget. And then from there, yeah, there's lots of different ways you can spend it. If you're investing in Google, you're right, it's all over the place. We have shops spending a lot on Google ads, but they're doing it because they're seeing direct revenue from those ads. So I would say, if you're just getting started, maybe commit to $500 a month and then see how that goes and then increase from there. And we have a great team of people where all they do is Google Ads for bike shops. So they're going to make the best recommendations for you in your local market, based on what your goals are. So if you ever have questions, we'd be happy to answer and look at what you have going on in your area.
Yeah, I love that Workstand is totally dedicated to the bicycle industry. Like you have got this like dialed. And I know Ryan, he's always watching the trends of just retail in general as well, so he can pull back the relevant things. Any trends you're noticing for the future with websites? I don't know. Didn't tell you I was going to ask you that, but just anything that you see on the horizon.
Let's see. We're trying to just make it easier for people to shop in a way that kind of makes sense to a customer instead of like, I don't know. So there used to be just this, the style was the mega menu. You just show everybody everything you have when they're there to shop. But now we're trying to kind of make it a little bit more approachable, have things more organized by category or like specific thing that they're looking for. So, if it's an e-bike shop, we want to focus on the different categories that they have. We want to talk about, make it easy for people to find extra batteries or car wrecks that are specific to the e-bike. So kind of just like making it easier for people to find what they're looking for. So it's not just like everything at you all at once.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then, yeah, go ahead.
No, that makes total sense to me, because when I'm looking online, let's say for a pair of running sneakers, and if I Google trail runners and then they bring up a couple things like based on my past purchases that I might like, and then they also bring up some clothes, I'm more inclined to buy those things. So having like kind of a sense on products that group well together. Yeah. I think ease is really good. What about streamlining and just cleaning up? I've noticed some stores going to, less inventory on the floor, maybe a cleaner look. Do you see that coming forward with website as, I feel like some websites are just lots of information, scroll forever, lots of copy content, and you almost get like fatigue. So is that something that you think we'll see more of, just less is more?
Yeah, definitely. We always write for skimmers and we build the sites for mobile first because we know people are on their phones most of the time and they're just scrolling quickly. They're not sitting down to read a big block of text. And so we try to just get to the point and get them into what they're looking for. And then yeah, the benefit of the website is that you can like merchandise the items that you want to show, but you can also have like the supplier inventory feeds like we were talking about before. So maybe you have the top 3 floor pumps that you recommend, but you also want your customers to know that you have access to so much more if there's something else that they're specifically looking for.
I love it. I love the word skimmers. I didn't even think about that, but I get it. People who just read through, I love it. So if someone listening, a retailer, a supplier, a sales representative, someone wants to get in contact to learn more, to follow up on anything that they heard today, would you share your contact or should they go to the website? How would they do that?
Yeah, they can go to the website or my email is lauren.w@workstand.com.
Super nice. Awesome. Lauren, thank you so much for volunteering your time to come on Bicycle Retail Radio.
Thank you. It was wonderful to talk with you.
Thank you for listening to Bicycle Retail Radio. This podcast is designed specifically for the bicycle industry, dedicated to strengthening our retailers and cycling community. If it is your first episode, we urge you to take the time and listen to our past episodes.